Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. He's Jamal Lawrence, and I am Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast.
Yo.
Hey, it's the bye week. Ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't got ain't nothing going on in Colts Nation. Oh, wait. The Indianapolis Colts are this close to being in the playoffs. Just this close. We're recording on a Thursday right now. Really got to see what happens with this Ravens-Bengals game because, if the Bengals lose, I think we're technically ahead. We'll be like a half a game behind. Don't quote me on that, but again, the AFC playoff picture still wide open. And, this all means the Indianapolis Colts, they get to play meaningful games in this second half of the year. On the bubble, baby. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about today. Still kind of unlikely, just given our situation, injuries, suspensions, things like that. But there's hope. And hope is really strong, guys. So I asked the question, Jamal, can Gardner Minshew lead this Colts team into the playoffs? Can he do it?
Oh, Eric, short and sweet for us, man. No, I'm just kidding. No, Gardner Minshew, man, he has his work cut out for him. This is a very interesting situation. Colts going into the bye week, 5-5, sitting at 500. When you look at stats, man, it's been a roller coaster. We saw this team take off at the beginning of the season, averaging, some of the highest points in the league. I think it was around like 28 or so points, and we slowly saw it drop off to now, I think, averaging about 24. So just kind of showing that trajectory of the up and downs of this team. We've seen some great things on the offensive side of the ball, some splashes. We've seen some very poor things on the offensive side of the ball, some very big downfalls. And same thing on defense. We saw a lot of poor play, but lately we've seen some great play.
Yeah, really, our offense has not been clicking the last two games. If we're being completely honest, I mean, it's just like you can say we put up 27 points against Carolina, but really Kenny Moore's 2 pick sixes. I mean, that's half your points right there. So, like you were saying with Gardner Minshew's stats, I mean, overall for the year, he's won 3 games. He's lost 3 games since, as a starter. He's completed 63.7% of his passes, thrown for 1,700 yards passing. But here's the kicker, that 8 touchdown, 6 interception ratio. And that goes along with, I believe, 5 fumbles lost for the year.
That's right, 5.
So, his touchdown to turnover ratio is negative. He's turning the ball over way more than he's converting touchdowns. So, that was really evident in that Cleveland Browns game. Like that man he went full Matt Ryan on us. He's definitely toned it down as far as fumbles lost, but almost every game he's turning the ball over. And, I was hoping that was one of his pros. He took care of the ball as ball security, but that's just not been the case with Minshew. Also, we're just not, like I said, the last 2 games, we haven't been moving the ball on offense. So I would say, I like you said, Jamal, he's got his work cut out for him. We have to see Minshew mania come back into action before I can believe he can lead us into the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, we're talking about an offensive line who's number 3 in the league according to PFF right now. So there's no reason for Happy Feet to be running around like he is. We talk about those turnovers. Those things shouldn't happen. I believe PFF also said he is ranked 32 out of 32 of the NFL quarterbacks right now. So 32nd at the bottom. Call it what you want to with that. But I think the bigger thing, Eric, then can Gardner Minshew lead us to the playoffs?
Oh, who is 31 and 30 and 29? Yeah, what is going on?
Hey, y'all can go look at the list. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Dang.
So I mean, I think that speaks volumes, and I think that really the Colts don't need Gardner Minshew to get to the playoffs. Gardner Minshew needs the Colts to get to the playoffs. Gardner Minshew needs the offensive line to be blocking as well as they are. Gardner Minshew needs Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss to be out there. He needs Josh Downs.
Just imagine if the Colts offensive line wasn't blocking.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. And that's what gets me. I don't understand why he's so happy foot right now when if it were last year's, offensive line, Matt Ryan getting smoked every play, I would get it. But he's acting rattled for no reason. This is a dream. This is a dream pocket right now for any quarterback in the league, and he's not using to his ability, which is why I'm going to go ahead to say, Eric, that no, I don't think he can lead us to the playoffs. Just because the some of these issues that I see with him, they just can't be fixed. They can't be fixed with what he's doing, and I don't see him turning his page to try to make it better. I think that it'll just a floating situation for the remaining games. I think we'll win some games, but I don't think he has what it takes to get us to the playoffs.
Right. So we're gonna ride that line of mediocrity. That's your prediction. We're gonna come in there. We're gonna draft number 15 or something like that, and we're just gonna miss the playoffs by a few games, huh?
Yeah. And not to mention, I mean, let's just be real here. I'll keep this extra short and sweet too. I don't really see the need for us to go to the playoffs and get to the game, first game of the playoffs and lose. Let's be real here. Most teams that go to the playoffs, they have that goal of trying to win the Super Bowl. We know, as bad as the Bengals are playing right now, they want to win a Super Bowl. We know the Chiefs want to win the Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. The Colts, I think everybody in Colts Nation knows the Colts aren't going to win the Super Bowl. So I don't really see the need to get to this playoff berth, just to get disappointed in the first week. And that's just my personal take on that, though.
I like the idea of getting to the playoffs, knowing we did it with this team, building that winning culture in Shane Steichen's first year.
Sure.
I think it gets the fans very excited for 2024. It gets the locker room riled up for 2024 and what the team's potential, essentially.
Yeah.
It makes players want to stay, things like that. But no, I do understand you, Jamal. Realistically, how far can we go? Can we be that wild card team that just slips in? Maybe we're the 9-7 New York Giants from decades ago that slips in, makes a Super Bowl, and wins it. No, it's really tough. But again, the winning culture thing to be able to do that in your first year as a head coach, I think it's going to speak volumes to this organization in general. But heading into this bye week, I think Colts very much needed it.
Yeah.
We had injuries piling up. Josh Downs, in particular, our highly dynamic wide receiver, our rookie. What did he play, like 14 snaps last game and still made a beautiful catch? But he's been limited the last 2 weeks. His knee needs this bye week, which like I said, came at a perfect time. Anybody who's saying Anthony Richardson might come back near the end of the
squash that.
Yeah, y'all need to y'all need to chill. If you got him in fantasy, just go ahead and drop him.
Yeah.
Pick up somebody else just to have on your bench. But he's not coming back this season. I don't care if they make a playoff push. He's not coming back. I don't think he's even back with the team yet. He's still rehabbing, things like that. But everything's good. Got to take care of that throwing shoulder. So we are not putting him, in the fire for no reason. So I guess maybe not everyone saw that Chris Ballard interview for the Indianapolis Colts podcast, but talking about Josh Downs, he did say, he's got some TY in him. He's got some TY in him. I like to hear that. And he also said, look, we knew Anthony Richardson exceeded expectations, right? Josh Downs, he met expectations. They knew what kind of guy he was going to get based off his tape, based off the scouting they did on him. And they made the right pick. We saw him before as well. He was one of our favorite receivers entering the draft. I thought he was a late first round, early second round pick. Dropped down to the third round. That is a literal steal. But getting compared to T.Y. Hilton, one of the Colts wide receiver greats, 4-time Pro Bowler. I gotta hand it. I mean, he kind of gives me some ghost vibes, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. I love Josh Downs, everything he does, man. He's gonna be a crucial part of this team for the foreseeable future. So to get that respect, early on, that's what I want to hear. Reggie Wayne said that he was the guy from the combine. So
right. So I love Josh Downs. Again, this bye week was needed for him, for this team. Maybe they just needed a refresher.
Yeah.
Look, we've been playing, at least the offense, we've been playing pretty poorly. Let's take this bye week. Let's get prepped up for Tampa Bay, and let's get another win and get us above 500. So maybe this is exactly what the team needed, a week off, came at a perfect time. So now we look forward, to the Tampa Bay Bucks. They knocked off the Titans last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Titans are sorry, but look, Tampa Bay, they are not a pushover. Baker Mayfield's not a pushover. Rashad White's not a pushover. That team can win the NFC South.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. That division is actually kind of open. Panthers are basically out, but the Saints are up there. Falcons, they're up there. But yeah, Buccaneers, they're not a pushover, and we kind of really want to have this win at home. Get it, because let's be honest, guys. Marvin Harrison Jr., that pipe dream is gone.
Yeah,
we got too many wins. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably going to be the first non-quarterback prospect off the board. I can almost guarantee that. I'm not going to guarantee that now because it's November. Things could change, but 95% certainty he's going to be. He's just that guy, and I really don't see Chris Ballard trading up for a wide receiver. Now that'd be cool. I don't know how many picks it would take to get him. I'd still be happy, but then then again, it's like, wow, we just really traded up for a wide receiver. But I think that dream's also gone too. Really wanted to see that, but of course, there's a lot of good wide receivers in this class. So pay it no mind, we'll be fine. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but yeah, perfect time to have a bye week. Gardner Minshew, he's got to show something else, and it starts at home in Lucas Oil against Tampa Bay. Like, he's got to show that he can be that guy. If this is his third straight dud, that he's not elevating this team, because like the last 2 weeks, Gardner Minshew has not shown that he can make this team better in the most important position on the field. He cannot elevate this team. He's in a prime position. He's got Jonathan Taylor. He's got Zach Moss. He's got a pretty decent wide receiving group so far. They've been getting separation when they needed to. According to you and according to PFF, third best offensive line in the NFL. He's got the tools, man. He has to utilize them, and he has to play to his ceiling, man. And whatever that ceiling is, I need to see it.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't have said anything else any better than that. And just so everybody's clear, Eric, especially if people are still listening right now, when I said about the playoffs, I want a winning culture. I want everybody to rally in and be a winning culture. I think that everyone has bought into what Shane Steichen is going to bring to the table for the foreseeable future. So when I say that I think that the playoffs aren't necessary for the team, I mean that as far as it goes for just draft capital, etc. But I think these players know what time it is. They're here to stay. They know that Shane Steichen has turned this thing around from a 4-12-1. At this point last year, we had already lost Frank Reich. So I think that the team understands what the deal is with Steichen and who he is as a person. So I'm all about the winning culture. I want to always win. I'll stand firm on my playoffs topic, but I'm always about that winning culture. So for those of y'all who still listen, I don't think they don't want me to win.
Yeah, we hit rock bottom last year. We've obviously bounced to already above our win total from last year. So, things are looking up. Now we have to continue that trajectory upwards heading into next season. But right now, we're on the cusp of the playoffs. It's actually possible. Don't rule it out. I would give it a good 30% chance right now, depending on what happens tonight in the Ravens-Bengals game. But, we win Tampa Bay. Like, we have a winning record. It's going to feel different if we can get this win at home. Definitely. So we'll reassess this again, but Gardner Minshew has to exceed our expectations currently. Absolutely. He's got to be able to move the ball downfield. He's got it. Like, I need the Minshew spins and the shit he was doing against the Browns. I need all that. Like, I need what Minshew was doing like 3 or 4 games ago. I need him to sustain that type of performance, for the rest of the season down the stretch. That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
Hey, let us know what you guys think in the comments. We like to hear from y'all. The Colts Cast always loves to hear any type of opinion about the Indianapolis Colts. But that's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast today. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.